The purpose of this video is to give you an idea of Moira Cosmetics products quality and value. Moira Cosmetics actually has a wide variety of products including complexion, face, and eyeshadows. I have 2 eyeshadow palettes, 4 powder blushes, 1 cream blush, and 4 highlighters, and I will be going in depth about their formulas and trying on everything. Spoiler alert, slow start but a strong finish. Let's start with the eyeshadow palettes. Moira's Fun is in the Air Moiraland series palette. It looks like this. Very fun color theme. Some neutrals, some blues, some neons, some bright shades, interesting shimmers. It has everything. I don't think, apart from the 2 palettes that I haven't seen much from Moira that I like as much as these. The only thing that's left is to test the quality, so let's dive right in. I want to try all the bright shades and the gorgeous shimmers. Going with this shade in the crease. That primer is from P. Louise and it's creasing a little bit on me, which is not very usual with primers. I'm having a little bit of difficulty. I think it's because of the primer. And the blue just went way too far up here. Let's correct that a little bit. Let's use the neon. Neons are not always nicely done by brands, so I am interested to see. Okay. Okay, this is a little lighter impact. It's not a lot of pigment. There's the blue underneath as well. It's kind of mixing up and becoming a green shade. Oh well. Let's do neon orange. Okay, this one is better. Bit more bright. Sometimes it depends on the individual shade as well. This primer is ruining things. I'm going to redo this eye. These are building okay. I think if you use the right primer, this could work. It's a medium level of pigment. Not necessarily the most high impact ones I've seen. Let's go for the bright pink, of course. Let's do something for the lower lash line. Let's do this blue. Lovely. Let's add some purple. Really pretty. Now I could leave it like this, which if I were wearing this out I would, but I want to see the shimmers, so let's pop a few on. How could I resist the pink with the gold shift? Let's go towards the inner part. You know what, let me swatch it first. Here is the swatch. It swatches really nicely, but sometimes that doesn't transfer to the lids as much. Let's put on a shimmer base first and then see, because this will stick better. This is the Shimmer Stay from Bella Beauty Bar. Now it's a nice wet base to grip onto that shimmer. These are very soft to the touch in the pans. Let's see if a brush works better because this is not perfect. So brush is definitely better. Now for the pink with a light purple peachy kind of shift. This one has like a soft squishy texture. Very nice and shiny. Swatch it. It has like multicolored sparkle going through it. Blue, purple. I would say just the impact is a little bit lower than those pricey indie brands, but the effect is kind of the same, but a little bit more toned down. Let's do this purple shimmer. This is nice and opaque. This is like a magenta with that blue shift. Like one of the more common duochromes, but very nice. Let's try this on the lower lash line. I'm curious. Here are the three shimmers. This turquoise shade also have like a little bit of a gold reflect to it. Okay, very bright. This here is another intriguing shimmer. It's very interesting. It's like a pale muted gold. Doesn't look like much in the swatch, but I think it'll look pretty on the eyes. Let's do the inner corner highlight with this. This turned out to be one of my favorite eye looks that I've done in a while. I've been normally using those high impact indie brand shimmers and they tend to take over the whole look. But this looks shimmery without being too much. And I think I can appreciate that because most mainstream brands aren't doing colorful shimmers and the indie brands are way too pricey. And sometimes the product is just a bit much. It can be a bit much. So I'm looking up some information and it is 26 Canadian and US $18.5. So that is actually a good value for getting something like this, which will be colorful, look nice, and of course you won't have to spend the $100 a palette for almost every indie brand. This has some nice duochromes in it. 4 of the shimmers are duochromes. There's 2 neon shades in there that will build up really well with a white base. There's like a sequin shade, a mauvey brown with like some glitter in it, and a few bright shades. So if you're into bright colors and you don't want to spend the indie brand price tag, this is a good option. Next up we have Moira Magic Dreaming Palette. This is what it looks like. I must say this is more up my alley than the previous palette. So I want to do a more smoky look matching my top. And let's see how it compares to the previous palette. Let's start with this deep purple in the crease. Diffusing the edges with this one. It went way higher than I wanted, but let's just work with what we have. Okay, that purple was really good. Good quality. Pack on the pink for the inner 1/3 of the lid. These have the cutest imprints. I actually really like imprints. I think they're really good for making it look aesthetically pleasing. Okay, this pink is decent quality. Like, I don't even have to pack it on that much, and the pigment is really quite there. Okay, pretty decent. This shade for the center of the lid. I don't love how these layer with each other though. It's not entirely seamless, I would say. Let's do some brown for the outer 1/3. This one for the inner corner. I'm going to line the lower lash line with this. These are the shimmers in this palette, and I must say they're exceptionally good. The one I didn't like the most was this third one here. This is just a little sheer for my liking, but this one, the blue and the gold, especially good. I want to try a few of these on the eyes, and I am thinking let's start with this one. This is like a muted purple. Let's do this gunmetal shimmer on the outer 1/3. That is sparkly. Excellent. I'm not sure how introducing the gold would do because this is all very cool toned, purpley, but I still want to see what happens. And this one here, it might ruin the whole thing, but let's try. This gold is really impactful. And it's like a gold-green duochrome. I'm going to add a little bit of this to the inner corners. I think the matte I put down was looking just a little bit sad and sheer. That looks better. This is how it turned out. I like this palette more than the previous one because this one really has some excellent shimmers, and I personally prefer a palette with shimmers over mattes. And the matte formula, I don't necessarily love it. I think I would prefer ColourPop's matte formula over this one. It blends well, but it doesn't play well or layer well with other colors. The colors don't blend seamlessly into each other, which is something that I'm used to. I think this look turned out gorgeous. And I think the quality of this one was a bit better than the previous one. This is how it looks. I like this. Let's do some face products now. I have a few blushes to try on. I have this cream blush. This is Love Hate Cream Blush in 06 I Miss You. I was thinking that I should use this as a lipstick. I have these powder blushes as well. These are some ombre blushes. I think you can get two colors out of the compact if you want to use them separately. There is this one, a nice pink, purple, orange, and this one. I'm going to start with the cream blush first. Cream products have been very popular, and let's see what this one is like. So it's pigmented, it's a little thicker, and I think it will stay put. It's not disturbing the foundation underneath, so all good signs. Often these cream products are also a multi-use, so I'm going to pop it on the lips. So, nice Barbie pink. I like it. I would wear this on the lips, it's quite comfortable. Thin layer, not too bad, not sticky. I think this could totally work as a lip color. Let's start with some powder blushes. This is the one I want to try first. This is called 05 Orange Blossom. Let's try this top color first. See if we can get two colors out of this. So a warm yellowy orange. The pigment is nice, but not too overpowering, so I say this is pretty good. Let's do the red down here. So there's quite a bit of shade difference. So you're kind of getting two shades in one compact. And just a look at the imprint. This is beautiful. Okay, I'm very happy with this. The face products are doing great so far. Next, I want to try this one. This is 03 Bella Pink. Now, this is a lighter pink, and I'm not sure if it will show up on my skin tone. So let's put it to the test. I'm going to do this top part first. Really generously going in there. Ooh, I love that shade of pink. It's quite light, but you can really build it up. This powder is pigmented, but not too much, which obviously is a plus. For blush, that is. Let's do this deeper pink over here, side by side, so we can compare. Okay, so that is a really brighter pink color, like a fuchsia kind of pink, like a reddish fuchsia. So clearly two different colors. I love that. Let's do this one. This is 04 Morning Sunshine. This seems to have three colors, and it could be your sunset blush. I'm going to try a smaller brush. Whatever it is, there is not a lot of color payoff with this one. Maybe on a very fair skin tone, this could potentially show up. I hope this has some pigment. I'm going to just mix the pink and purple together. So this is a cool tone Barbie pink kind of shade, and it's pretty nice. The powder seems to be going just a hint patchy though. This might be a little too light for my liking, and I'm not entirely in love with the formula. The pink is okay, but I think you can see it's a bit patchy here. Let's move on to the last one. This one is called Ruby Flush. This one kind of looks like the deeper version of this one. I wanted to see how these two compare. Actually, they're pretty different. This one is more on the reddish orange side, and this one is definitely pink. but I think I'm going to try this one first. Somehow I think this will be too light for me, but let's see. This is a nice peachy color, although it doesn't show up all that much, but it's nice if you need a very subtle blush. That is if you are close to my skin tone. Let's try a little bit from the middle. I'm thinking that will be a very nice color. Not too deep, not too light, and just perfect. The lower part is showing up here. Let's try the deepest area in the pan. And that's a nice deep red. With that, our blush try-on comes to an end, and let's move on to some highlighters. So I have 4 of these highlighters. They're called the Sun Glow Face and Body Highlighter, and this one is called Spicy Hue. This is by far my favorite. This is like an orange with a gold sheen. I like the imprint in there as well. These are definitely large enough to be body highlighters, and they smell like coconuts. These are a little bit glittery. The particles are kind of spread out. You can build upon it. It's not like an overly chunky or crazy metallic, but it's quite nice in my opinion. But it's not the most natural looking highlight either. It's somewhere in the middle actually. Let's try this one. This is 004 Fairy Gold. Moira Cosmetics seems to be pretty good with imprints. Here is Fairy Gold. I like to really build up my highlighters, but you can definitely go with a subtle hand as well. With the next two, I'll try to do a little more toned down application. I'm liking them so far. I think Fairy Gold was going to be the most natural one out of the others because this one right here is very sparkly. This is called Rose Petals and it is a rose gold kind of shade. This is a lighter application. Let's build it up. Okay, now this one goes full metallic. The last one is Sweet Champagne, and this is a white gold kind of highlighter. I'm hoping this is a warm platinum, which I think it is. I wanted to show it before I build it up too much. And now let's just go full metal. I wouldn't necessarily say this is an icy highlighter because in real life it pulls a little bit warm. It's not very cool toned. So this is one so-called icy highlighter option that could be good for warmer skin tones as well. So I think the highlighter haul turned out pretty well for me. It's definitely one of the better formulas, but I think since then the market has moved towards an even more natural finish highlighters such as the Fenty Beauty ones. But if you don't want to pay the higher price tag, I would recommend the new highlighters from Moira, Exhibit A. I've heard that these are quite good, very natural finish, even more so than the ones I just demonstrated. I might pick a few of them up to try them as well. But I like these. I am not opposed to a high impact highlighter like these, being a maximalist and what have you. With that, the try-on is done. I think this makeup turned out gorgeous and I love the eye look. The blushes turned out pretty great. The cream, the powders, and the highlighters I like as well. I think this is definitely a brand you should try if you're trying to find good quality makeup on a budget. I say this in almost all of my videos. I think makeup should be more accessible than where we are right now. And I'm not opposed to finding good products at decent prices. And Moira is definitely doing a good job of that. So I would recommend these. That is all for today, and I'll see you next time.